Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this week's episode of the Thank You Bro podcast. The Boston Celtics are NBA champions. We have raised banner 18. Jason Tatum, congratulations. Jaylen Brown, finals MVP, validated. Validation, he belongs. The city of Boston, the Boston Celtics are all better because of him. Tatum and Brown are on the same page, and we'll get into this in a little bit. Jason Tatum not winning finals MVP? Good thing. Anyway, Will, how are you doing?
It was a great thing for basketball. Tatum didn't deserve it.
Whoa.
As Jason Tatum...
Hey, he said we're getting into it later.
Fine. I'm doing fine.
Most impatient man I know, Will Glover.
Happy Juneteenth to all who celebrate.
Happy Juneteenth. It is Wednesday, June 19th, 2 days removed from the Celtics winning their 18th banner. Ryan, my boy. Number 0 and 7 used to be worn by Avery Bradley and Jared Sullinger. We have had players actually die since we've won the last title. Okay?
Yeah.
What does it mean?
Who died?
What does it mean to you? Fab Melo, RIP?
Oh.
What does it mean to me?
What does it mean?
It means everything. It means everything happened the right way. You look at Philly's process. They probably should have watched Brad Stevens and Danny Ainge a little closer because everything went right, and that's not just luck. Luck had something to do with it, of course, but I would say that this was just perfect management. You perfectly phased out the Big Three era. You had a couple rough years, but then with Isaiah Thomas and the gang, you got right back into contending. And then when Brown and Tatum hit the scene, you started immediately almost overachieving despite dealing with Gordon Hayward injury, Kyrie Irving issues. What else? Isaiah Thomas's sister dying. For one,
Kemba Walker injury. Everybody, our afflicted point guards. We should have a support
sister
group.
Dying is not
tragedy. Tragedy.
Okay, well, Isaiah Thomas.
Y'all want to be victims so bad, it's embarrassing.
No, how about the Isaiah Thomas very real hip injury that happened immediately after that? Yeah. And then he was shipped off.
That was very real. They weren't beating LeBron anyways. Who cares?
Well, sure, but it's just
they were there.
The afflicted Celtics point guards should all have a therapy group chat and just
Ryan,
check in on each other.
Led by Rondo.
Walker to Irving to Smart, Thomas. Rondo kind of counts. He was kind of just, shipped off to a crappy situation in Dallas.
Yeah.
It's been a long time coming. And the Rondo trade kind of marked the start of it. And then, you could even go back the offseason prior where we got Brad Stevens, who I think I called him like a very even-keeled Pat Riley on the last episode, which now that he's got the ring, if this snowballs into anything, if it becomes a couple, 2 or 3, I don't want to get ahead of myself. If he gets a couple of them, there's nobody else I'd rather have running this team. And it's so cool that he nurtured these guys as a coach and then moved in the front office. And then we had another coach and he couldn't keep it in his pants. And now we have this coach, Joe Mazzulla, who, was kind of just thrown into the fire.
Y'all be back to back. Y'all could be back to back right now.
We are definitely overrating.
I'm happy. I'm happy about Mazzulla.
Ime was a rookie coach.
Ime's a great coach. Last year, it was still Ime's team and system. This is the first year of Mazzulla's team and system, genuinely, and they won the championship.
And won a chip.
Now, I do think that several other coaches probably could have done the same thing as Mazzulla, but that's not to discredit Mazzulla at all. He's been a masterful, and I wanted to talk about this because we like to make jokes like Mazzulla timeout, but especially towards the end of the season, stuff like that you didn't see as much. He's really starting to come into his own as a coach, figure out pace, speed of a game, the things you need to do, the little stuff, the foul, to have the 2 free throws instead of the 3. Just little stuff that not a ton of people do. They have their own play for Pritchard to hit a half-court shot. They have their own play for that. That is a play in the playbook. Whereas, you have that loser Dante Exum keeping it in his pocket in the NBA Finals.
Why do you hate Dante Exum? He's done nothing to you.
No, because that Aussie is a loser. He was protecting his field goal percentage in a finals game.
Oh, so now I just take my talking point.
He's got to
agree.
worry about. Hey, he has to worry about the resume, or else he gets shipped off to wherever he came from.
There is no Dante Exum legacy. Anyways, I wanted to say about Missoula that I agree. But the reason why I say y'all could be back-to-back champs is because Missoula made a lot of bad mistakes last year that cost y'all a few games, especially in the Eastern Conference Finals. And I think if you make it to the finals, you have a better chance of beating. Obviously, it was pretty tough to beat Jokic regardless.
Yeah,
but you had a good shot at it last year. But it would have been, I think it would have been a 7-game series, honestly.
I think it probably would have been.
Get KP. You go out and get KP this year, and it would have. That would have been the answer to your problem, anyways. But no, shout out Missoula, great guy. But yeah, and now the Missoula timeouts have shifted to the Kidd timeouts because Jason Kidd made a ton of terrible
call a timeout,
decisions.
Jason Kidd. Call a timeout, man.
Game 3, Dallas goes on a 22 run, and you call a timeout right in the middle of that. Are you smoking crack? Like I don't understand that. That was bad. I think we talked about that last time, anyways.
I think that one was more about conserving Luka because Luka just. I mean, how many times did he look so gassed in this series, man?
But wow. It's a run though. I mean, you got to run. You got more adrenaline on the run. You have momentum. I mean, that's just something you can't do. Now, Boston scored 5 in a row. Then, now you call it timeout.
Jason, the momentum ends here, kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. So,
yeah, buck stops here.
That was bad. But I want to talk about, so congrats on y'all's finals. But I want to talk about game 4, which y'all saw in person.
Oh, my God. I
want to know what was going through
my memory.
What was going through your head? Obviously, it's still worth it.
Yeah.
But let's hear
about
your Friday night.
So still worth it.
Yeah, but they came the Celtics came out kind of flat-footed. I think that we were probably a little too loose in that game.
Well, you got to start. You got to set the stage earlier in the day because you got to remember the context here is that we're on absolute cloud 9 before this game starts.
Yeah. So
I mean, we're meeting hundreds of Celtics fans in Dallas in the bar right outside their home arena. We meet our boy GRD that we've been following for this whole Celtics run, this whole rebuild. Everybody's on cloud 9, right? Like you could feel it. Like it felt like it was ours to take that night. And basically from the jump ball, like
the shots weren't falling. The Mavs came out firing. They were hitting everything, and I think at about halftime or a little bit before is when I conceded that we weren't going to see it tonight because I just knew that second half already down a ton, weren't going to risk it, not going to try fight that uphill battle unnecessarily, just go win game 5 in Boston. And I understand that. And if we were watching on TV, it would have been like, yeah, whatever. But being there, I was just like, damn, I really wish that, the gap was a little less so we could see some good basketball.
Mm-hmm. See some good basketball or just get to celebrate that night. I mean, it's not as cool for everybody back home in Boston, but for us, here in our home state now to be getting a chance to watch, your team celebrate, that would have been everything as a fan. But, it was cool. And now that the time has passed, you can kind of look back on it and be like, you know what, we got to see our team in the finals the year that they finally won it. Yeah, it wasn't the night of, but it was still very special. But yeah, that game, I mean, heart sunk into my stomach. I mean, just watching that. I mean, you make the drive, you buy the tickets, you just feel it like you're gonna win tonight, and then you don't. Mavs fans did not do their job in trying to bring up their ranking when we did the fan tier ranking. What do we put them? D or F?
They dropped. Yeah,
F.
They're
D.
They're F
D
now.
minus. Oh, and have you seen the cope that they've done on Twitter? Dallas Twitter's awful.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like I'm not pissed that Boston won because Dallas, if they had won, that would have been probably the worst month and a half of my life. Just scrolling through
Don't worry,
media,
buddy.
having to deal with the Dallas fans. I'm glad they got the job done. Because I don't know what I would have done. Would have been sad. Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of great guys on that Boston team anyways. I wanted to bring up, let's just get into it. So Jaylen Brown wins finals MVP, wins Eastern Conference Finals MVP. Obviously, has always been the more consistent player in the playoffs. Obviously, you're not going to win a finals without Jason Tatum. I mean, that's the sky is blue, grass is green type thing. But, I mean, I'm not going to call Tatum a fraud because it's unfair. But I just hate the way that Tatum can't show up as the number one option in the biggest moments. Why is that?
Well, I think that in terms of his shooting in this postseason, he definitely had the yips. I will acknowledge that he shot the ball very poorly. And I think it was a lot to do with him in his head. Now that he has the championship under his belt, now that they're becoming the hunted, I'm interested to see what next year's playoffs look like in terms of his offensive output. But I will say that Tatum, I think, is one of the, if not the biggest reason that the Celtics won the finals, because he was a masterful playmaker. He played off the ball perfectly, ball in his hands. He was making the right decision, making hustle plays, playing good defense. I think he did everything perfectly except for shooting. And then game 5, when the game was out of hand, he started shot chucking a little bit, which, I think that was going to happen.
He started padding, which he always does. He always, in garbage time, he's the greatest player in NBA history. I'm telling you, he's sitting at like 20 points on 5 of 15 shooting, and all of a sudden garbage time comes, and you look at the box score at the end of the game, and he's got 35, and it's like, oh, this is a nice clip. Surely he did it in meaningful situations, and then I digress. I like Tatum. Tatum's a great father, great guy. Father of the Miami Heat as well as Deuce.
Mm-hmm.
We're not gonna ignore that.
No. Jason Tatum's second baby on the way. So, and girl dad Tatum, he's really fulfilling his Kobe fanboy legacy. You just wait. I'm so
glad we didn't get a Tatum shower pick. That would have been terrible.
I think people would have liked it. I think like the haters would have been like, "Oh, okay, he's playing into it now. He's playing up to our hatred
to the meme." So, to the meme, it would have been. But he tried to do the KG anything's possible.
That was the only thing I thought was a little forced. I don't even know if he was
trying that. I think he was just in that moment. I think it's just, I don't know.
If it was planned, I think it was a little forced.
Be yourself, man.
Stop, but everything else I thought was great. The celebration with Deuce, that picture is one of the great finals pictures.
That's one of the great sports pictures ever, honestly. And what's funny is that I said Tatum should do that like Vince Young did in the 05 championship, that picture of him, and he did it. So
okay, LeBron. I knew he was going to do that. I knew he was going to take that picture.
I said he should, and then he did. I didn't say I knew he was going to. I said
I woke up this morning and something just told me that, Jason Tatum's going to win the championship, and he's going to hoist Deuce above his head at center court with all the confetti dropping. And I said that's going to be an awesome moment.
Just wait. LeBron's next podcast with JJ Redick, he's going to say that. He's going to
say something like that. Before the season, I just knew it was these guys. They're gonna go finally get that monkey off the back. They're gonna go win that championship. Yeah.
After we won the hey, you know what though? The Lakers won the NBA Cup, and you can't take that away from them.
Oh my God! Hang the banner for the NBA Cup, which they did.
They already did. They already hung it.
Banner 18.
Two teams hung the banner
in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, the Celtics really have 6, and the Lakers have 7. Or no, I'm sorry, the Lakers have like 10. Are we counting Minneapolis
if you think about it,
pre-1980s?
If you think about it, yes, we're counting pre-1980s.
No, we're not. Well, of course you would. Of course you would.
No. Mr. Baseball himself, there'll be a guy who hit 800 in the 1919 season, and you're like, oh, that guy's the GOAT. Meanwhile, Shohei Ohtani's literally him. And
God forbid, I like a little Josh Gibson discourse. Anyways, we're not talking about
Josh Gibson, man. Well, yeah, but I'm just saying,
greatest
it's the
hitter
same
of all
thing.
Time.
If you count stats from the 1800s for the MLB, you got to count the 1960s for the Celtics. Okay,
I don't count stats from dudes like Tungsten Armo Doyle. I don't. Okay, that's like, yeah.
Don't even say that name. We just lost any viewership we had. It's gone. God.
Are you a Honus Wagner enjoyer?
No.
God.
Although He is a Cardinals legend.
God.
Anyways,
Yeah, so that's enough.
Terrible.
I'm doing this in honor of JT. Okay,
Mm.
this is what JT would want.
Just a kid.
Better than
Since
what
I don't
Ryan
have
was
any
about to wear.
Celtics. Yeah. Oh, he's still got it on. He still has his beige shirt on. So, All right. So after this finals, objectively speaking, I do like that. That is a cool jersey, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Thank you, bro.
Objectively speaking, from 2020 to now, I'll start with Ryan. Rank each finals. They've kind of been stinkers. I'm not gonna lie, but
all right.
Go ahead and rank them.
At number 1, I'm gonna put.
No, start from 5.
Start from 5. Okay, then 5 is gonna be 21.
The Bucks, yeah.
Yeah, and then 4 is gonna be 23. Nuggets Heat.
Yeah.
3 is gonna be 2020. 2 is gonna be 20. 2 is gonna be 22.
Objectively.
No, wait. Okay.
No, objectively.
2 is gonna be this one, and then 1 is gonna be 2022. I feel like that's a fair list.
You have an argument for Boston's championship being won because they went 16-3. I mean, since the series has gone 7 games back in 2000, I think every series is seven best of 7. It's the second highest besides the when the Warriors went 16-1.
Oh.
That's your argument, but in terms of finals, I don't know.
In terms of finals,
5 games is not really fun, and you knew it was over after Game 3. So
yeah, and I factored that in.
Even when Boston lost by 40. Curry's final, that was a pretty good final. I think I like your list. Bucks are definitely last. Spencer, are you going to put 24 at number 1?
I'd put 24 at 1. I don't think you can ask me any questions. I'm glad we just skipped over me for the any Tatum discourse. I mean, let's just be real here. I'm not going to give you any unbiased answers for the next 30 plus days, probably. 22. I mean, it put a bad taste in my mouth, but like watching as like somebody without bias, was it really that special? I mean, Game 4 Curry was the best moment, I think. When they're down, Celtics are poised to go 3-1 in Boston, and Curry rips it away from them, has 45. I think that's one of his career-defining moments. That might be his best.
That is his best performance ever.
When you think about Steph Curry, game. I think you think about that. Outside of that, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I didn't think that finals had a special feel. But I mean, I got to put this one number 1. I mean, and you kind of mentioned it when you think about the run as a whole. And that was dominant. As far as the last 5 years goes, yeah, we haven't seen a team go on a run like this since that, the Warriors super team. But the finals, you're right. I mean, they've not been up to the level of what we would like. I mean, there's great parity, right? Because we've had a different finals winner in each of the last 6 years, right?
Yeah.
But people don't really like that. People want to see, dynasties. They want to see rivalries formed. And they want a competitive series. They want to see a series go 6 or 7.
Yeah, I'd like to see every series go 6 in the finals.
And that's why you could argue for the 21 finals. You could argue for the 21 finals to be higher, but just something about it was the year after
Suns
COVID.
And Bucks.
There was hardly any
terrible
fans.
Small market teams. I mean,
presentation has a lot to do with it too.
Yeah.
The presentation
does.
Has sucked.
I mean, it felt really stale. Yeah. But Giannis also has a great moment in there with a 50-point closeout game in Game 6.
I mean, that was special. Had 20 free throws. I'm
a big Giannis hater, but like it was great. It was a special moment.
You averaged 15 free throws a game. He was 35, 15 and 5 though.
And that's the argument against it. It's not sexy to watch at all.
No, Spence, you mentioned that a new team has won the finals in the last 6 years, every year. And so I'm curious what y'all's thoughts are on this. Are we transitioning into a new era of basketball where, when you'd win a championship in the last 20 years, there's kind of that feeling, okay, they're going to win 2 or 3. It's, dynasty. we're not seeing that right now. We're seeing a bunch of one and dones. Is that kind of the new era of basketball we're in? Because there's not 2 or 3 top players in the league anymore. I could list you probably 10 top guys in the league. And I feel like there's just so much parity. It's going to be a lot harder for dynasties to be established. I hope it happens with the Celtics as a fan, but I don't know.
Well, teams have stopped building through the draft as well as they once did. I mean, when you think about when the teams you're talking about are the Spurs, I mean, the Heat are kind of an outlier, right? Because, I mean, even though they had homegrown Dwayne Wade
for a long time,
they went ahead and went out and they got LeBron and Bosh, right? But the Spurs and the Warriors are the two that, like, you know, 4 championships for the Warriors, 5 for the Spurs. Those teams were built through the draft. Yeah, the Warriors got the ultimate boost, like, of all time when they went out and got KD, and that's the understatement of the century.
Crutch.
But they had won before and after that, so they were going to win titles regardless. The Celtics look like, I mean, obviously the team best poised to do that, coming off the fact they just won one. They're 2 stars they acquired through the draft. They're in years 7 and 8, and everybody's coming back at least for one more year, and then after that, you know, we'll see where it goes. But there's not a lot of teams, like you said, that are really, really poised to go on these long runs, except for maybe Oklahoma City, a team that has prioritized a lot of draft picks. But it's kind of old thinking. And
here's your issue, though. Here's your issue with that. Because of today's NBA, everyone wants a supermax, and not everyone can afford that. Yep. It's expensive to keep a dynasty nowadays, whereas you had teams like the Spurs who willingly took pay cuts so they would win championships. And I mean, we don't see that in NBA anymore. Now you got teams, you have dudes. When Jaylen Brown is deserving of this contract now, but not everyone turns out like Jaylen Brown. When Jaylen Brown signed that 63 AAV deal without all was he all NBA once? Before that, 2-time All-Star, 1-time All-NBA. I mean, and dudes think that they, with that resume, deserve the highest paid contract in NBA history. Now it worked out. But let's say the Celtics didn't win, though, and now you got Jaylen Brown out here, highest paid ever, no Finals MVP, no ring, no nothing. It's like, okay, well, now we're in a really bad spot. And that's what teams do. Look at the Sixers. Sixers went on a limb and tried to get Harden. That failed miserably. The Nets did the same thing, the exact same thing, failed miserably. So, I mean, you don't have dynasties like that anymore. Now you see the one dynasty we had left, the Warriors, they got old. And so that style of NBA is done. Like Spencer said, it's just over because we want mid-level players expect record contracts. It makes no sense. And no one has a team first mentality in this league anymore. And you know what would really get me off Tatum's back is that if Tatum said no to the Supermax deal and took a lesser deal to try to get, he's very deserving. He's deserving of this, finishing top 3 in MVP, but he's not going to do it. But I'm just saying, if you want me off Tatum's back, then he should do a Tim Duncan move and take less to win more. But we'll see.
That's fair. But there's also a big team building. The art of team building has been lost somewhat, right? And so when you have the reason I always love to talk about Brad Stevens is because he's very smart and is not afraid to take the big swings, even around the fringes of the team, right? Same thing Danny Ainge was great at, but you go and you take a swing on Derek White. At the time, it was kind of mixed reviews on that trade. It was like, well, you didn't give up a lot, but like, what are you really getting back? And it turns out you're getting back somebody who really elevated this team and lifted them. You know, you don't win a championship without Derek White, right? Drew Holiday, you go out. I mean, that just kind of fell into their lap, that opportunity. But you go out and you make that swing. So there's something to going out and, you know, making the on the fringes moves that aren't necessarily trading for a top 1 or 2 guy on your team, but how good are you at guys 3 through 7, right? Even just drafting well there's a lot of teams that they get a lot of picks and they just swing and they miss year after year after year. I mean, how many teams have been bad for a long time because of poor drafting and poor development? So the teams that are smart, the teams that prioritize good management and good coaching, they'll always be relevant. And when they get to their turn, they can win. So
Yeah, I like that. And I want to talk about team building. The Pacers signed Pascal Siakam, 4 years, 190 million, 48 million AAV. That's Siakam. So if we're talking about inflation with the dollar and talent, I think this is honestly not a bad deal.
Oh, that's a good deal.
I think Siakam is probably worth in your 40 range if we're, once again, no knock on Jaylen Brown, but if we're paying Jaylen Brown 65 mil, then Siakam is definitely worth 40 million. So, well, do the Pacers have that money? I felt like the Pacers needed to go out and grab someone in the free agency, and
they did.
And they just signed.
They still do.
I don't know how much cap room they have left.
Yeah, I don't know what this does to their cap.
Pull that up in a sec.
He clearly elevated their ceiling, right?
And
when Halliburton went down, they turned to him and looked to him for number one option offense, and he got some good help from guess who, Andrew Nemhard. But Siakam is a really good player who has won a championship, was a good accessory on that team. Obviously, Toronto caught some breaks that year, but that's as legitimate of a championship as any. And so he knows how to win. He's been there before, and he definitely helped them in this postseason run. You like that number if it's 38 or if it's 40, but huge TV deal coming in. Some of these contracts this summer are just going to be nuts, and you're just going to have to get used to digesting those numbers.
Yeah, the Pacers negative 66 million in the hole right now.
Okay.
They still have to pay Doug McDermott 21 million. Shout out to the Spurs for getting rid of that contract.
What are they going to do?
Obi Toppin is owed 21 mil.
Oh, they're effed. What are they going to do?
So McDermott's owed 21, Toppin's owed 21, Miles Turner owed 20, Neesmith 11,
a great number.
McConnell's 10 million. And then Halliburton is still at 42, and then you just signed Siakam to a $47 million extension per year.
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't know how they're going to get
better. Well, you're not upset about the Turner numbers or the McConnell numbers.
But this is Turner's last year. So
so he's going to be due for probably more money at some point.
Yeah, he's going somewhere else.
Turner's got to be close. If Siakam's getting 47, Turner's got to be in that 40 ballpark. So Pacers they're running out of time as well. They're going to have to do something with trading.
What was that McDermott deal anyway? What did they get? What did the
Spurs got like a second round pick or something?
What was the point? Did they think that McDermott was going to help?
It's a salary dump. Oh, the Pacers, Indiana. I guess. I guess.
God.
I don't know.
Is that non-guaranteed though? That has to be non-guaranteed.
No, that's guaranteed. He was getting paid 20 million, 20 a year. Doug McDermott. See, that's what I'm saying. We got players like Doug McDermott. Great player, in the NBA, great shooter, not worth 20 mil. I mean, not even close. He's 8 mil at most. If I was playing my league on 2K and I saw Doug McDermott wanted 20 million, I'd pass. It's like, see ya. I'll just go to the next guy who can shoot a little bit.
I'd give him the money.
Yeah.
So why?
What would you give him?
He's just a lunchbox type of guy.
I think he deserves it. I think his family. I think it'd be good for his family.
Oh, okay. Does he play the game? How does he play the game?
Well,
he plays the game well.
He just does certain things, and there's just a certain factor
this look about him.
He's got this way.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is.
Doug McDermott.
I know that I can't live without him.
This way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So the Spurs won that one. Spurs had the fourth most available room. They need to go get a free agent. We'll talk about free agency after the draft. I think the draft will be a big I can't say that word. You know what I mean?
English?
The draft will be big for. Yeah, I had a stroke. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
It'll depend on whether or not y'all take a point guard or go get a point guard.
The draft is big for the Hawks. That's
you got the number one pick.
Are we going to have another episode before that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah,
okay,
because
we'll talk about it later. Then. Yeah. All right. We'll have a draft special next week. But I do want to talk. The Hawks are the biggest. Honestly, I can't believe I'm saying that. But all right. So we got through that. Good looks again. Congrats, Celtics, on another great season. You actually finished it. You actually got the job done this time around. You know what? I didn't think it was going to happen. I thought y'all were going to choke again.
No, you didn't. You along with everybody else.
I knew. I won a little money off that. And then I lost it to the
just
Panthers.
To blow it on Florida. Nice.
Panthers, we're watching, by the way. We're watching. We see you. We see you over there. Don't make us talk about you next week. Don't make us talk about you next week.
That would be pretty devastating. Spencer won't. He'll just watch. But imagine blowing a 3-0 lead. That would be crazy.
In the final.
Awesome. Shout out Yankees. Shout out
It's good
Yankees.
for the brand.
That would be. Anyways, so I want to talk about it real quick because it's in the news. The news is that the Pistons fired Monty Williams. And Spencer, you don't like Monty, which I don't get. I don't know why. I think Monty's a great coach. But
I don't have a personal vendetta towards Monty Williams. Why was he made the highest paid coach of all time? Why?
Because he took a
what had he done?
Why would you fire him a year after? It's crazy.
Yeah, because that's the thinking that I don't get, right? If you believed you saw something in him to give him that deal, you got to give him more than a season to think it to see it through, right? I mean, it's one thing. It's hard to come in there and make changes like that. And I still am not high on Monty Williams as a head coach. I mean, not that high, at least. Does he deserve a job in the NBA? Sure. To be paid as if he is one of the best coaches in the NBA clearly was not worthy of that. I mean, there was enough with Detroit there. I mean, they just were disappointing. So many, like night to night. I mean, they couldn't get the rotations right. They wouldn't keep the same guys in the rotation. One night Duran would start. The other night, the next night he might be out of the lineup completely. He was punishing guys through playing time. I mean, it was a rough watch. And as somebody who, occasionally may have bet on a Detroit Piston or two, it was tough to watch. Watch guys just get yanked completely from the rotation. And that messes with you when you're a young player. So there's something to nurturing a young team that's developing. I know the Pistons weren't going to do anything special last year. And the next guy who comes in might do an even worse job. But if you saw something there to give somebody $80 million to coach your basketball team, man, you can't give up after 12 months.
Agreed.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think the big kicker is starting Killian Hayes over Jaden Ivey for half the season. That's
rough.
If you're gonna fault Monty, I still think Monty's a good coach. He wasn't given the resources besides obviously the money, but he wasn't given the resources to really thrive there. But starting Killian Hayes over Jaden Ivey was a pretty bad mark. But you know what? Hopefully the Spurs hire him for a assistant job. I think he was good in San Antonio when he was there.
I think he could be good in San Antonio to succeed Pop if that is something that they wanted to pursue. But I will say,
no way.
I think the Detroit job, especially when he took it, maybe it'll start getting better soon. But I think it was a really difficult situation and kind of an impossible job, especially to, make that significant of improvements in a year. But I also want to say, if you're Detroit and you're at this stage in your whatever, why are you paying a coach that much money? And especially fire him after a year.
Yeah.
Like maybe don't do that. But I am curious after this now and what happened at the end of his tenure with the Suns. Is there something else that maybe we don't know? Like, do players not like playing for him? Is there issues outside of basketball?
I don't know. A little
know.
bit of that.
Yeah, it would be safe to assume that. He's the real winner, though. Get paid $65 million to leave Detroit, Michigan. I mean, there's not a better deal than that.
Sell your home and move out somewhere else. Probably get another job doing something, like you said, maybe an assistant position or maybe another low tier head coaching job. But maybe he does TV.
Monty, I'm rooting for him always. So,
Monty strikes me as a great guy.
Well, Pistons fans don't think that right now. If you go on Pistons Twitter, it's pretty rough.
And see, those are the people who are watching every night and showing up to games, and if they saw something there that wasn't right, sure.
Yeah, all 45 of them.
I don't know. There's a lot of
Will's,
it's a tough watch. Pistons basketball was a tough watch.
You got to be careful, though, Will. You got to be careful now.
Why do I have to be careful?
You're very close with the Williams family.
I'm not close at all.
Yes, you are.
His daughter and I graduated in the same class, and we're mutual, but I have not talked to her in years. So,
Oh wow!
Maybe you should text her and say, "Hey, sorry to hear about your dad."
I would say happy for you, honestly.
Maybe say
you don't have to live in Detroit anymore. It's okay. I'm not going to
say, "Can I hold $1 or $1 million up?"
Yeah. Hey, let's get Monty on the show.
Monty, we just
Williams, if you're watching,
kind of asked you.
Let's get your dad on the show right now. I would love to hear his perspective. I'm on your side. Like, I hate the Pistons. I think the Pistons management from the executive level is a dumpster fire, and it has been since they got rid of Chauncey way back when as a player.
Chauncey, wow.
They had a few years where Drummond and was a beast and would get them to that 8th seed in the playoffs.
I thought Drummond was up next.
I'm a self-professed.
You want to just start it now?
No.
Yeah, but I do want to say.
You don't want to start it now?
I do. I think we should. I think that was a great segue, but I just want to say, just so that it's on record and out there forever, I am a Chauncey Billups enjoyer. I've been known to dabble.
Me too. He's going to do great things in Portland.
No, he's not. But I still like him a lot.
Hey, you got to give him a chance. You got to give Scoot a chance. He had a bad year. Scoot's going to come back. Scoot is still deserving of that third pick.
Scoot's still up next.
After watching top level basketball for 2 months, thinking about Scoot
it's
Henderson,
it's going to be pretty tough.
Like I know come October I'll be excited for regular season basketball, but right now, don't even say the name Scoot Henderson. Don't say Grant Williams. Don't say these guys who are like.
I have to go from watching Celtics play a beautiful brand to, well, I don't have to. I enjoy watching Wembanyama play, and I think Wembanyama is going to be a top 10 player next year in the league.
We might find out a lot about his near future around the draft. See what Atlanta does with their pick. See what the Spurs do with their 2.
We'll see.
Be
interesting.
interesting.
Can the Spurs back them up? Find out next week on our thoughts about that. We're gonna have a whole draft special. We got
draft
a lot of
live
content.
Stream will go crazy.
We could do it like we did with the lottery. And as long as Ryan's internet
now
holds
we know
up.
what we're doing. Yeah. Looks pretty good today.
Yeah, and apparently the platform we're on, shout out Riverside, actually does it now, so I don't have to do as much work. It's cool. So we're talking about who we thought had next, and that got me thinking. We can do a friendly little draft. Do you have your players ready? So what we're gonna do? We've done this. Ryan and I have done this before. Spencer has not. No, Spencer has done this before, but the recording got chalked because I screwed up on my end. So technically, Spencer has not done this before, but Ryan and I have.
I'm ready.
The goal of this new game is we're draft. It's going to be point guard, shooting guard, small forward, or it can be guards and forwards. You can do guards and forwards in a 6-man. Okay, that's how it's going to be. It's draft players you thought were up and coming. Ryan, how did you say it? You said it better.
Players we thought were up next.
Yeah, so draft players we thought were up next. All right.
Okay, is there a strict, I don't know,
it could be
let's say 2010 up. 2010 up.
I have a few not early 2000s, but late 2000s.
Okay,
players that I remember watching.
You can't just say Greg Oden, man.
I'm not saying Greg Oden.
Okay, because
but
that's not on my list.
I joked about Andre Drummond. Does he qualify for this, or is he too good for a couple
Drummond
years?
had a good career.
Yeah, Drummond's
he had a good career.
Drummond
He was
was
all NBA.
All NBA, multi-time All-Star.
Was he all NBA?
Yes.
He was
in
not.
15.
Oh my god!
Hold on. Let me look this up real quick. I'm almost positive he averaged 20 and 15.
He was 2016 All NBA third team. 2-time All-Star, All NBA third team, 4-time rebounding leader, and he was the Rising Stars Challenge MVP. Anyway,
we don't care about that.
No, we don't. Anyway,
he averaged 16 and 15.
Yeah, he was too
All NBA worthy.
Okay, then what we should do. Okay, let's go ahead.
All right.
So, Ryan, I'm going to let you start first. You were the one who came up with this idea, so you have honors. Spencer, do you want to go second or last? We're snaking, so third pick gets back-to-backs.
I will go second.
Okay.
All right, so I'll go third.
All right.
Get around.
With the
We're
first
definitely
pick,
not going to step on each other's toes with these picks.
I am taking Jaleel Okafor at center.
Oh my god!
Wow.
Good,
Wow. That's a good one.
good pull.
All right. Spencer, you're up next.
I wouldn't take him this high, but because Will may take him with his 2 picks,
Don't.
I personally enjoyed watching him, and I had seen him live a couple of times.
No, I know
So-
exactly. Stop.
And you know what? He came close. He was knocking on the door for maybe too good for this, but he eventually fell like a meteor right back down to earth. The most athletic wing in Spurs 2010s history, Jonathan Simmons, will kick off my could have been,
That's
should have been
good.
franchise. That's
It's number one on my list. I'm not
Yes,
sure if you can
sir.
see that. I'm actually going to throw a curveball here. So I actually kind of want to change the rules, and I'll explain why after my pick. Okay. So I was going to pick. Actually, I'm not going to pick him because I'm not changing rules. But this is who I was going to pick. I was going to pick 2015 Draymond Green, who shot 40% from 3-pointer, and the remainder of his career shot under 30%. But one
true.
year, he had that one where I was like, "Is this the next best stretch 4 we had?" And then he came back down there. But I'm not gonna pick him. I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna go Justin James after his 31-point performance a few years ago, a career 3.9 points per game player. I thought, oh, you know what? He's got it in
Wow.
him. Justin James, shout out.
That is
shout out
rough.
Justin James.
Wow. What if that's crazy? That's a crazy pull.
I know. And that was like in 2021, I think. I was like, oh, he's kind of got it in him. Nope. Kings ditched him afterwards. So Justin James, you are my first pick. And then my second pick kind of follows the same. It follows what Justin James did. It's Percy Jones.
Percy Jones. Wow. Baylor? Right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Wow. Good pull. Let's go.
I know. He had a 32-point performance. I was like, okay.
Oh man, I'm finding some guys I really like.
I'm not sorry, Percy. Did I say Percy? I meant Perry.
That's
sorry.
what- okay.
Same thing.
That's good.
Perry
You were
Jones.
thinking of
Sorry.
Percy Harvin.
Yeah, I was. But Perry Jones III, back in the old OKC days.
Y'all ready for my next pick?
That's
Ready.
fine. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Hornets legend, Michael Kidd Gilchrist.
That's a
High
good one,
motor. High motor. Elite energy guy.
Yeah.
Come on now.
He was on that team
That's-
forever, and he never did anything.
Man,
Yeah.
the way they talked about him
That
before the
ugly
draft
jump
should have
shot?
told you. Yeah, there was signs that he was not going to pan out, man. Come on.
There were signs. Hall
There
of
was
Fame
plenty
Bobcat.
of signs. That was rough. I've got a lot of
Yeah.
names here for my second pick. Oh man. Jaylen Brown just won Finals MVP, so it's only right that we go back to his draft. And at that third overall pick, I wasn't feeling Jaylen Brown. I was feeling instead the kid from Providence, Chris Dunn. Man, I thought he was going to be the
Yeah, that's a
future of
good
the
one.
Celtics backcourt. And I can't lie, I wasn't bummed about the Jalen pick, but I was like, man, have you seen this Chris Dunn kid play? And Celtics were right on that one. That is why 15-year-old me was not an NBA GM.
Yep. That's a good one. All right. So for my next one, I'm going to go with Frank Ntilikina.
Frankie,
I legitimately thought, I thought he was going to be a 8th pick in Tatum's draft, actually. And I thought he was probably the second best pick in that draft going that late. And I was wrong. Very bad. Very bad. But
the track record
yeah.
with point guards who just can't shoot at all is really bad. It's really
Mhm.
bad.
I agree. So, and then for my next one, so I have, what is that? I got a power forward. I got a small forward. I got a point guard. See a point guard? What are we counting on? Yeah, he's a 1.
Who?
This is tough. I was thinking, do I say it? I'm gonna go Chandler Parsons.
Got that big contract, and then
yeah, I thought he was 2K legend though. 2K13 legend. Him and actually, if y'all want I was also thinking of 2K legend. You can take him before I name drop him, but I'll hold off for now.
Okay.
But yeah, Chandler Parsons,
2K legend.
Pick. Yeah, he was cold, man. He'd get you an easy 30. Just throw on the Rockets. Young James Harden there, first year.
Yeah. We can't count guys who have some injuries at play, right? If injuries kind of took you out of it.
Oh, okay. 100%.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then I know
I
think I know you're taking.
At the end of the day, weren't up
you're
next. Okay, so I have my center and I have my shooting guard. Now I'm going to take my small forward, potential top draft pick by the Boston Celtics, Josh Jackson.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I never liked him, so I couldn't pick him.
I know you did not. You know I was high on him back then.
I didn't like him.
I was high on him.
He was such a jerk during the pre-draft stuff, and it was mostly stuff by his agent, I'm sure. But I mean, refusing to work out for the Celtics, or at least being extremely bitter about it, like that was crazy.
Yeah.
Just to go to the Suns and do absolutely nothing. Wow.
Josh Jackson in the league?
No.
Is he?
I don't think he even
cut his hair and then crashed out.
Yeah, he was rough, man.
Yeah, he's in the G League actually.
Oh,
for the Kings.
For him.
I guess he averaged 13 points per game his rookie year, though. He could have easily thought that he was up next. It's a good pick.
That was a bad team, though.
Yeah, that's true.
That was. All right, Ryan, you have another one.
I do.
I think we're doing 6-man, right? You've drafted 5 or 4?
That was my third.
I drafted 3.
Yeah,
we
right?
definitely inappropriately snaked the first time because we didn't go back through me and we did not give Ryan a second pick. So our draft order has been absolutely shot.
Did we screw it up? I didn't realize.
Yeah.
Spencer, how many? Yeah, because I didn't. I stopped writing it down. So my bad. All right, so Spencer, how many players you drafted? I
have 2.
Okay,
so
how about we just Spencer
you get the next.
Spencer pick, then I pick, and then I think we're good.
Okay, that works. Keep track of your players.
So I have Simmons, and I have Dunn. I think I'm going to keep Simmons kind of up in the front court, but I definitely needed some scoring from the perimeter, so I'm going to go all the way out, and I'm going to go get Dion Waiters.
Mm-hmm.
Dion Waiters, man, he was a bucket for a while, but I shouldn't say a while. He was a bucket for a short while.
Or his legendary 2K audio.
Oh my God. Why did they do those?
That was bad.
Those were so bad.
And the players so obviously didn't want to do those.
No. They sent them in over a iPhone voice audio.
Yeah. So
I had Neokino. Okay. All right, Ryan, you're up.
All right. So I have Jahlil Okafor, Josh Jackson, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. I'm going to finally take a point guard to lead this team of underachievers.
Oh, thank goodness.
And his name is Michael Carter-Williams.
I knew it, man. I had him on my list. He was up next for me.
Rookie of the year,
though. Come on. Rookie of the year.
Yeah, you can't win Rookie of the year, then crash the hell out.
You remember his first ever game against LeBron?
Electric.
Yeah, it was incredible.
That was the next MJ right there.
He was
right in front of our eyes. Yeah, that's a great pick. Now I'm pissed. All right, is it my turn or is it your turn, Spencer? How many do you have? I have 4.
I have 3.
All right, so it's you. Go ahead.
All right. This is why I asked about the injuries thing because when this guy reached the Boston Celtics,
you have Chris Dunn, by the way. You have 4.
Yeah, I have
You
three.
picked
I have
Chris
John.
Dunn.
I have John Simmons. I have Chris Dunn, and I have Deion Waiters.
Oh, I know who you're taking.
Oh, okay. All right, so go. You get the next two, actually. You know what? We're going to do it this way. We kind of screwed up.
Oh, a
but you got
free
next two.
gift. Well,
Yes, free gift.
this was a former number 1 overall pick.
Yep.
Bring him home. Jabari
Yep.
Parker. Jabari Parker, man, he was the truth.
He was so
supposed
good.
to be. I mean, he was like he came from the same school as Derrick Rose. I think he was the number 1, or he was number 1 in the NBA draft. He was at Duke. Man, you really believed in Jabari Parker. The injuries kind of nagged at him, but even before then, he never really seemed like he was panning out. But Jabari Parker, big fan.
Man, that's a great pick. What could have been, man?
I actually do get sad
He was
about that one.
explosive.
He was awesome.
I need
All right,
a
Spencer,
center.
you're up next as well.
I need a big man, and I don't really know. It's some of these guys. I want to say it's too early to call it on. You just don't know. But I think it's fair to say that Mo Bamba is done.
Yep.
Whatever we were going to get from Mo Bamba is not there.
Yeah,
I'll take Mo
Good
Bamba
pick.
at my center.
Good pick.
That's a great pick.
All right, Will, to you.
I was looking at it. He doesn't qualify, but I did have him up there. It was Aaron Brooks. In his third season, he was most improved player, averaged 20 and 5 in Houston.
I think that qualifies.
Yeah, but he had a how many
It's
years?
Aaron
is this?
Brooks, man.
He had an 11-year career though. So I mean, it's not like he was drafted. He wasn't. It's not like he was. He was a 26 overall pick. So the fact he had a few fluke seasons, it was like, okay, cool.
Yeah,
But
that's probably
so I
fair.
don't think he qualifies exactly. But you remember who was big, huge name was Yogi Ferrell.
Yogi
Or Farrell.
Ferrell.
How do you-
Wow.
it's Yogi Ferrell.
Indiana.
I
Dallas
forgot
Let's go.
Dallas
about
legend.
him.
No, Indiana University. This is back when I used to
Oh.
watch college basketball.
Used to watch Yogi. I just remember watching. I remember getting his card on 2K. I did not watch. Yeah, I don't watch college basketball very much. I should though. I really should.
And if we were going to take guys
Yogi
who
Ferrell.
never really had any NBA career but were good in college, I would have taken Aaron Kraft. You ever? Does that name do anything?
No
for you?
idea who that is.
Ohio State. Oh man, I guess I was
No.
really.
I don't
no one
watch-
good comes from Ohio State.
I was
man.
I was really into college basketball at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'll take Yogi, and then I'm going to round out my 6-man. Oh, boy. Do I want... This is tough, because this is another one where I feel like maybe you qualify, maybe you don't. I'm going to take Kenneth Faried, though. I feel like he had a few good years, and it was, okay, he's a great forward, but he was in the wrong time. His play style was what he was about 5 years behind where his play style would have worked really well. And in an age of where the stretch four was really becoming a big thing because of LaMarcus Aldridge and Kevin Love, and
he'd be
Faried
a perfect
just fell through
small
the
ball
cracks.
5 for so many teams.
Oh yeah. So I'm going to go with Kenneth Faried though. I mean, he had a good career. He averaged 11 and 8, but I felt like he could have been so much more had the NBA not adapted when he was entering the league. So that rounds out my team.
Okay.
All right, then Ryan has his last pick here.
Yep.
I have two more.
Y'all's teams.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 2 more.
Okay, yeah. So
Nice.
We screwed up the draft.
yeah. All right, it's fine. I'll just
Yeah,
finish
we
off.
botched it.
All right. So starting at the power forward, I am going to space the floor with a man that some people thought was going to be very Porzingis-esque, perhaps Dirk Nowitzki-esque. I am taking Dragon Bender.
Yes.
At the 4 spot.
Great
Oh,
pick.
wow.
I wanted to take him, but I wasn't sure.
I was looking at some
25
old
years.
drafts.
25 years old. He's already out of basketball.
I wonder what
He's
he's doing.
only 25?
He's 25.
Yeah. He was
Oh my
drafted
God.
at 18, I think. Or 19.
Yeah. And then at 6th man, a little bit of juice off the bench, backup center, 6'11" from
Center.
where'd he go? Kentucky? Nerlens Noel.
Nerlens Noel is a great pool. Yes.
This might be my first good
Man,
list.
That one's
That
a
is
little
good.
bit.
Yeah,
that one's a little bit injury ridden, but yeah, Nerlens Noel, man, he was up
And
next,
honorable.
He's gonna be a
Wait,
big
Spence,
set.
you have one more?
I have one more.
Okay, then I'm not going to give
Yeah.
my honorable mention yet.
I know your honorable mention though, because it's been introduced on this show.
I thought you were gonna do it. This will be my final pick, my sixth man. There's a lot of great names here. You said Nerlens Noel, and my mind went to Willie Cauley-Stein.
Yeah,
Willie
that's
Cauley-Stein.
exactly what I was thinking.
But that's a good one. But I can't use it on Willie Cauley-Stein because in honor of this Celtics championship,
Oh yeah.
somebody a great name has to be mentioned off the bench for some potential scoring punch. One day he'll get there. Give me James Young.
Number 13.
Give me James Young. Number 13.
Young and
baby.
smart.
Young mentioned.
God. James Young. We're still waiting on him. We're waiting on the come up.
How old is he now? 25?
gonna happen.
28?
I think he's probably older. Yeah, he's got to be like 29. he's been around.
No.
I want to
He's
throw out
probably-
a few honorable mentions after.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, go ahead. I'm ready for
What was
honorable mentions. I still have some. Yeah, go ahead.
I have one honorable mention, but we'll go ahead.
James Wiseman has got to be up there for
Yeah.
honorable mention. It's over.
I didn't like that pick. I didn't like that draft. 2020 was weird.
But going 2 though, right? Yeah. Going 2.
To Golden
you
State, to
gotta
a great
live up to that.
situation.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So James Wiseman, and I wanted to say Danny Granger because the first 5 years of his career were electric,
Yeah, he was awesome.
and then he hit 28 and just completely fell off the face of the earth. He went
Well,
from it was injuries. I
It
know
was
that,
injuries
but
and the emergence of Paul George.
So Granger and Brandon Roy, I think are in very similar categories. Guys who you can argue one was better than the other, but whatever. But like same kind of class of player. And yeah, I mean, they clearly were on their way, and then injuries just took them out of it. You know.
Yeah.
No.
So and then he was out of the NBA by 31.
Yeah.
It's
What
very
could have been.
unfortunate.
So and then my last one is Markelle Fultz, but he has a chance to turn it around.
Faults.
I hope he
he's
does. I hope he does.
But I do too. We're rooting for you. But as of right now, being drafted 1-1, and your career totals are 11 and 4
Yeah.
on 40, 20, 70 shooting. Not good.
The other Magic point guard here for me that I really wanted was Elfrid Payton.
Hmm.
He
Thought
was
you were gonna
next
say Cole
Rondo,
Anthony.
man. No, Cole Anthony, I mean, for
He's gross.
relative to where he was picked, has probably panned out pretty well.
Yeah, Cole Anthony's not that bad of a player.
No.
I really was high on Gary Harris for a long time. He got a big contract and then kind of that's where it went away for him.
Yeah.
And that was rough.
I like
I also had Emmanuel Mudiay on here.
Whoa,
Remember
SMU legend.
Emmanuel Mudiay.
Moutier. Good one.
Yeah.
Come on now.
I was thinking I wanted, and I didn't know if he was going to fit this or not. For a minute there, I thought Timothy Luwawu-Cabarrot was up next. And
TLC. Let's go.
And I also remember
Need a little TLC in
Landry
my life.
Shamet.
Yeah.
How about Alan Crabb?
Alan Crabb.
Alan Crabb.
Yes. Come on. He should have been
the
drafted.
rest of this podcast is just us naming old players that we watched when we grew up.
Dude, Alan Crabb. He was actually 20 a game.
You know what? He was in Portland, right?
I think in Brooklyn.
Man,
but maybe
he sold
Portland
me.
too.
He sold me so hard on 2K so many times. You know, I thought Chase Buddinger.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow,
he could shoot it. He could.
He's going to the Olympics, but for volleyball.
Is he really?
He is going. He's going to be on the beach volleyball team.
That's awesome. That's super athlete. Congrats.
Do y'all mess with?
You're an Olympian, man.
Yeah. Do y'all mess with Michael Beasley?
Bees kind of. He kind of panned
out. NBA champ, right?
He didn't pan out for being first overall. Yeah, he actually qualifies for this. He should have been picked.
He definitely qualifies. Yeah.
He just was what 2009 draft or maybe a little bit later.
08 to the
yeah.
Heat with the second pick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see,
The
there you
Heat
go.
went from NBA champs to getting the second overall pick in 2 years. What a crazy fall off they had. But then they had to come up. Thank you, LeBron. Yeah, Beasley averaged 14, 15, 19 in his first 3 years. He was sacrificed. He was traded to the Timberwolves so LeBron could come to the Heat. And then he fell off. But wow, do you see this? 2019-2020, it says did not play. Contract voided due to positive COVID test.
Oh my!
I didn't realize they kicked him off the team.
Wow,
yeah, I didn't realize that. So
good for them.
Give that man reparations. Golly.
Yeah, he was a beast at Kansas State too. It's one of the first memories of watching college basketball I had was KD versus not KD. I'm sorry, the year after was it DJ Augustine?
Yeah,
versus Michael Beasley.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, he's 35.
Well, I also like Jeff Green for this a little bit because when he was traded to the Celtics, I thought that he was capable of becoming like Kevin Durant light, like
heart issues,
like the free version of Kevin Durant. And there's some injuries there, some heart problems, and
he had open heart surgery. What do you mean? There's some injuries there?
That's what I'm saying.
But Jeff Green's played like.
He's played a long time.
How many? 16 seasons?
Yeah, but
16 years.
He's a role player that should have been more. He should have been more.
Yeah. He played 1,200 games in his career.
Great role player. Could have been a lot better.
Actually, he's not. He hasn't even retired yet.
No, he's still active.
He's still with the Rockets.
Yeah. Active player.
Uncle Jeff.
Yeah.
Yeah, his second year in OKC averaged 16 and a half. What's so funny? Did you like the Uncle Jeff reference?
We have an Uncle Jeff.
We have an Uncle Jeff.
I do too. So
really,
I think everyone has an Uncle Jeff and Uncle Joe, Uncle Mike.
No, we don't have those.
Your roommate Mike.
I have an Uncle Mike on my mom's side.
There you go. My dad is Uncle Mike to some people. Not me.
No,
he is to me.
Dude,
start calling him Unc when we come over.
What up, Unc? He wouldn't know. He wouldn't know what you're talking about. Hey, kiddos. Anyways, all right.
Yeah.
I love talking about cursed players. I really do. I think
it's the only way that they get memorialized. You know.
Yeah,
exactly.
And they deserve it.
Also, shout out Marshawn Brooks.
Marshawn Brooks is terrible. You know what? Since I
had to get that one off my chest.
Shout out one more time. Jody Meeks, shout out. All right, we're done.
Oh, Jody Meeks, man.
2019 champ, Jody Meeks, by the way.
That's disgusting.
And then he retired at 31.
That's crazy.
So
wait. Before we go.
You got another one?
I just because I've never done it and I really want to because he was awesome and people have forgotten about him. Shout out Jameer Nelson.
Yeah. Shout
awesome
out Jameer
guy.
Nelson.
People don't know him anymore, but he was great. Celtics legend too.
Look him up on YouTube. Look him up on YouTube. He's got good highlights.
Does he have a highlight reel?
He was really good for Orlando. He was an all-star in Orlando.
I know. He's the reason why. One of the reasons why they made it to the finals.
Hold on, I'm going to send you something right now. It's the Jameer Nelson Celtics highlight.
Highlight. Okay.
Yeah. It's just singular. One. It's like him taking his warm-ups off and then
Jameer Nelson passed to Brandon Bass. It's a 20-second highlight clip of one play.
It's awesome.
Awesome. That is funny. It'd be cool if I could see it, but your internet's awful. So, anyways,
I'll just send it to you. All right. Anyway,
he's always on his phone, man.
Ryan's on his phone now.
All right.
Can't beat the allegations, just like Tatum can't beat the fraud allegations.
All right. We'll take
Speaking of, do we have another hour for Celtics talk?
No. You know what? Y'all can start your own little spinoff. You have to edit it though.
We could have an hour a week episode called the Boston Hour.
My chains are gone. I've been set free.
Go ahead.
Yes,
That's fine.
let's go.
I don't care. Anything to bring in some viewers. So
someone has to.
Yeah, because I'm probably gonna. We're hiring. I thank you, bro.
Oh, my order's on its way.
Dude, get off your phone, man. We're almost done. Could you?
I was checking on my. I was checking. No. I got a notification that my Celtics championship hat and 2 shirts are on their way. They've shipped because the Celtics won the finals.
You can say it on your.
Did you not?
I'm very much aware.
Yeah,
I watched y'all. I watched Spencer on his knees
to the map
on his knees like that at the TV.
No, we beat the Mavericks in the finals this year to.
I'm gonna mute you.
Only took 5 games.
Championship against.
As I said on this podcast,
Kyrie.
Check the receipts.
Kyrie used to be on the.
We gotta have the editor. We gotta have the editor
used to be on the Celtics, but now he's
clip.
Now he's on the
editor.
Mavericks.
I am the editor. Just tell me.
You're the editor. Okay.
We can hire an editor. Does anyone want to do this for free? No. The answer is no.
Maybe.
It's experience. It's unpaid internship. You get
unpaid internship.
You can put this on your LinkedIn.
We have we have to get incorporated. We have to be. Anyone want to sponsor us?
No.
Thoughts? All right. Next week, I want to do. After we talk about the draft, I want to look through NBA Twitter. I think that would be.
Okay, so this week we need to start compiling stuff, sending it to the group chat.
Awful.
Okay, we can do that.
For example, Spencer sent this one.
I don't even know what this is going to be. I'm scared. I sent
actually got to make sure
stuff.
we can. I got to make sure we can.
You gonna screencast this?
We can share this. Yeah, I'm going to share it. I can share this.
Oh no.
This right here.
Oh my God. Happy Father's Day.
You sent this one out. I thought this was probably the worst thing I had ever seen.
For a lot of reasons. Like, why is Garland in a Photoshop over Westbrook in that god-awful OKC jersey? And then Garland, who was absolutely miserable in the playoffs. Who's like he's like a top 30 player. Holding up 2 top 10 players. Whoa. I mean,
top
wow.
30 is such a stretch. Top 30 is such a stretch. I'm surprised he didn't tear anything.
You think I'm being nice?
Yes. The way Garland played. Now, if he gets out of Mitchell's shadow, which is probably going to happen.
Okay, well, then we'll call him top 40. We'll say a top 40 player holding up 2 franchise cornerstones is absolutely heinous. Happy Father's Day.
It is. I like horrendous post. Why do you have a humiliation?
Humiliation ritual?
See, there we go. This is. I mean, NBA Twitter is just full.
Yeah, we'll do that.
You know what's better than NBA Twitter is MLB Twitter is pretty toxic. Man.
That might be the MLB bulk of Twitter's our content during the summertime.
Yeah, it could be. So, anyways, watch out for that segment soon. But with that being said, we're an hour and 8 minutes into it. Ryan,
it's lunchtime.
You brought us in. You take us out. Obviously, we're starting up new shows soon. I guess the boys get their Celtics one. I will not be on that. So enjoy those two morons talking about Boston Celtics or just Boston sports in general. I won't. Ryan, go ahead.
In a week where the Boston Celtics silence the haters, prove the doubters wrong,
so dumb.
And please don't interrupt my outro, and win their 18th championship, best team, most titles. We are humbled and honored to be able to present you with high quality sports talk for you to ingest and digest from our mouths to your ears. And thank you for coming along with us on this journey. It's been really special and really wonderful. That being said, thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode of the Thank You Bro podcast. We have been your hosts. If you made it this far, please be sure to give us a like, comment, subscribe, interact with us on all of the things for more incredible content. We look forward to it. And check us out on our website, tybsports.com. We post articles, highlights, all the things that you want, and all of our socials in one place. Thank you, Bro Sports. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you next week.
Go Celtics.